Could I say that tangent, I don't know what the derivative of tangent is, but could I say I know tangent is the same as sine over cosine? Have I changed my problem? I haven't changed my problem. Now, can I find the derivative of sine divided by cosine? What rule would I need? Product rule, quotient rule. Quotient, because I've got division, right? Let's do it. The derivative of sine divided by cosine. It's all about me, people. Remember low, D, high? It's all about me. Look at this cutie up here. Oh, low. What's my low function? Cosine of x. D, high. I tried to move my seat to not block it. Here we go. Derivative of high, low, D, high. Derivative of sine is cosine. Low, D, high minus high. Sine. D, low. Negative sine. I'm going to put in parentheses so that we know that it's multiplied there. All over low, low. You could write cosine of x in parentheses and then square it, or you could put your squared here. That's just my little reminder. You cannot put it like this. Cosine of x squared. No, 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 no. You could put it like that, though. All right, people, let's simplify this. What's cosine times cosine going to get me right here? Cosine squared. Okay. So we got cosine squared. What about a negative sine times a negative sine? Positive sine squared. And we still have that all over a cosine squared. What is sine squared plus cosine squared? It's 1. That was that Pythagorean identity from last year. Now, Danny, I think that you were saying, could we go like this? Why can't we? Because we got adding in between them. So, Danny, don't you agree? This is technically cosine squared over cosine squared plus sine squared over cosine squared. So we can't be saying that cosine's gone and we're just left with sine squared because it also has to be divided. You guys, 1 over cosine is the same as secant. So 1 over cosine squared is the same as secant squared. You guys just found the derivative of tangent. The derivative of tangent is secant squared. Let's fill in the others that we know. We want to start getting away from this and just getting in our head. Derivative of sine, cosine. Derivative of cosine, negative sine. Good job, you guys. I'm going to go to the ones that I care about. We're going to skip cosecant. We're going to go to secant. The derivative of the secant, we could derive it, but I'm just going to let you know. It's secant tangent. So SEC of x times tan of x. That one's kind of long. And I often just say secant tangent. Guys, we also know, what's the derivative of e to the x? E to the x, we love that one. And the derivative of natural log is 1 over x. Guys, those are the ones we care about. I am going to fill in these two. AP has never asked about these two. Miss Meister will next year if you're taking 1151 or college math will. But the derivative, so if I were you, maybe just give yourself like circle, maybe highlight, whatever, these ones. Whoops. These extras that I'm going to put in there is negative cosecant cotangent. Don't care about it. And negative cosecant squared. Okay, so now let's go practice. It says find the equation of a tangent line. Okay, the equation of a tangent line is again back to that point slope form, you guys. Equation of that tangent line is that point slope form. They said, all right, find the equation of the tangent line to this function when x is pi over 4. Well, for the equation of a line, we need a point and a slope. Do you want to find the point first or the slope first? It does not matter. Slope. Reichert says slope. Reichert, if f is tangent, slope is going to be f prime. We just found out what is the derivative of tangent. Secant squared. Oh, man. Unit circle, baby. Where do you think they wanted that slope, Reichert? They wanted that slope at pi over 4. So we've got to do secant at pi over 4 and then square it. Gross. We haven't done a pi over 4 in a while, you guys. Pi over 4 is here. Anyone remember that coordinate at pi over 4? Miss Sadie. Root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. That's my point at pi over 4. Very good, Sade. So you guys, the secant is the reciprocal of x or the y, cosine or the sine. Secant goes with cosine. So I need to go find the cosine, which is the x, and flip it. What's the flip of root 2 over 2? That's just going to be flip 2 over root 2. You guys okay with that? At pi over 4, secant is the reciprocal of the x. My x was root 2 over 2, so I'm just flipping it. Did I simplify it? No, I just flipped it. Guys, let's square it. What is 2 squared on top? 4. What is root 2 squared on the bottom, or root 2 times root 2? 2. What's 4 over 2? 2. My slope is 2. My slope is 2, so I'm going to be able to put that right here. Now I need a point. Do you agree they gave us the x? How could I find the y if I know what the x is? Just plug it in. Exactly. He's like, all right, well, this is going to get me my slope, and maybe you write yourself, this is my slope. This is my slope. Now to get the point, I just want to know what is f of pi over 4. No f prime, because I just want the point. So like you said, Riker, what is the tan at pi over 4 without our calculators, you guys? At pi over 4, tangent is just y over x. Anything over itself is 1. So my point is just going to be pi over 4, 1. So now I have a slope and a point to go put into point slope form. Riker, you want to put that into point slope form for your pick of the candy? Okay.
Y minus 1 equals 2 times x minus pi over 4.
Done. Perfect, sir. Done. Find the derivative of this. What rule would I have to do? Quotient rule. Thank you, Iono. Here we go. Ione, who does the quotient rule start with? Me. What's my lower Ione? Perfect. D high. Ione, derivative of tangent. Yep, look on your thing. Derivative of tangent, we just did it up there. Perfect. The derivative of 4. Derivative of constant?
0.
You got it. That's okay. Low, D high, minus Mr. Yep. High, D low. Derivative of secant. Secant x, tangent x, perfect. Ione all over. Low, low. And I am just going to write it like that. Secant squared. Okay. Okay, people. We've seen this before. This is Heliodorus. Yeah, but what does this stand for? This is the formal definition of the derivative. That's what this is. So when it says that this, they want that. They want the derivative. Now, what the heck do they want the derivative of? Well, look, they told you what the function is. If the function is secant, this without saying it is saying, what's the derivative? Use your cheat sheet. If my function was secant, what's the derivative of secant? Secant tangent. Well said, you guys. Beautiful. Then, does anyone have any idea where they want that derivative based on what they did here? Awesome, Matney. They want it at pi over 3. So, Danny's going to cry a little because we got to know the secant at pi over 3 and the tangent at pi over 3. Okay, so the secant of pi over 3 we said is 2 times the tangent at pi over 3. Ooh, tangent of pi over 3. Tangent of pi, ooh, I like this. The tangent of pi over 3 is y over x. Anytime those denominators match, we down with a little root 3 over 1 right there. Mm-hmm. Is that an answer? We went too far. Oh my gosh, was this an answer? Whoops, it was C. What a goober I was. Ooh! Why did I ooh this one?
I don't know.
It's like, yeah, that was rude. You guys, this is cosine times tangent, and they want the derivative. What would I have to do if I've got two functions being multiplied together? Fig plus GIF. I got to product rule this. Gross. So maybe you write that off to the side, that we got to fig plus GIF this. Maybe you put a little multiplication sign in between those, so you're like, oh, snap. I've got one function times another. Now, Thomas, was it worthy of a ew?
I feel like there's a lot of, like...
Here we go, people. What would fig be? What would f prime be? Negative sign. Thank you, Liv. That's f prime. I need g. Tangent. She just figged it. She figged f prime times g. Done. Plus GIF. G prime. Say that again. Secant squared times f. Is that an answer? That's gross. It's not an answer. But it is. Let's talk about this. What's secant squared the same as? 1 over cosine squared times a cosine. So we do get to cross one of these out, Danny, because we don't have any addition going on. I think that I still have a mistake, though. Don't you guys think?
Shouldn't it be negative?
Right. This answer A?
Yeah.
That should be negative, right? Because isn't that the same? Oh, wait. No. Wait. Right there. Because isn't 1 over cosine what I have left? And isn't that secant? And then I still have a negative sign times tangent. Nothing's going to cancel out there because tangent sine over cosine. So I think that it was supposed to be that one, but I have the wrong sign there. That's going to make it hard for you to find the answer. Let's make that a minus sign. And then we choose A. Yeah, that's going to be, ooh. Let's go do this guy together so we can remind ourselves of some other things that aren't just derivative rules. So we've got an evacuation site. We're removing dirt. It's modeled by F. The amount of the dirt has been removed as F. G is a differentiable function. Values of G, okay. Okay, great. According to F, what is the average rate of change from 6 to 12? From F, that's just this top one. Average rate of change just means change in Y over change in X. And we don't get a calculator, it looks like. Yeah, we do. Let's get a calculator. We'll say that this one is calculator active. You guys, how would I do change in Y over change in X of the F graph from 6 to 12? What'd you say, buddy? Come on now, Danny. I am out of it. From 6 to 12, do you agree we have to use this bottom function? Yeah, which is g of t. Oh my gosh. So what's my change in Y over my change in X from 6 to 12 using that g function? Thank you. What minus what? So good, bud. Over? Yeah. Change in Y over change in X. Can we be done? Done. Use the data in the table to approximate f prime at 9. Do you guys agree for f, 9 falls in between 6 and 12? So I would have to use this g again, wouldn't I? I need to approximate when x is 9. We did this yesterday. What minus what over what minus what? 428 minus 376 over. Beautiful, you guys. This 100% will be a free response question. Y'all are ready for it. It did not say to use units. What if it did say to use units, though? What would be my units? Change in Y over X would be cubic meters per hour. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I did want to go back to continuous. Is something continuous? For something to be continuous, not only does the limit have to equal at that point, but the value of the point has to equal the limit. So from 0 to 12, where is the one spot that we could have a break? Just at 6. That's the one point that we could have a break. From 0 to 6, we're continuous. From 6 to 12, we're continuous. So at 6 is the one place we got to look. We've got to go ahead and see. We got to go determine, is the limit as x approaches 6 from the left of my function? Which one would I use for that? Top one or bottom one? 6 from the left. Top one. So I got 48t plus t squared minus t cubed over 12. Is that going to be equal to the limit as I approach 6 from the right?
Yes.
Ooh, 6 from the right. What would we say that is? Well said, Danny. What'd you say? That's just going to be 306. I'm just going to write g of t right there, and I'm going to answer that as 306 underneath it. We got to go do this in our calculator. So you guys, with your calc, you could just go plug in a 6 for t there, and t there, and t there. So you're saying this left side is 306 and the right side is 306. Does that guarantee that we're continuous if the limit exists? We also have to make sure that the value of the function is 306. Are we confident to be able to say f of 6 is 306? At 6, I'd have to look at g, and at g of 6, it would be 306. So are we going to say continuous or not? We are going to say continuous, and here's why. We're going to say continuous because the limit as x approaches 6 of my function equals f of 6.
Could we also do
Okay, find f prime of 2. F prime of 2 is that instantaneous rate of change. It's that slope at that moment. It's the derivative. This right here is the derivative, okay? That is the derivative at 2. We got to go find f prime at 2. You guys, when x is 2 or t is 2, should I do the top one or the bottom one?
Top one.
Top one. Can we go find f prime of t, and then we'll go throw the 2 in later? Let's go find f prime of t. What's the derivative of 48t?
48.
48. What's the derivative of t squared?
2t.
Plus 2t. And then what's the derivative of t cubed over 12, which is the same as 1/12 t cubed? Those are equivalent. What would the derivative of that be? 3/12 or 1/4 t to the perfect.
Wait, I don't. How do you?
Oh, minus that. Thank you, Kate. I'm with you, Thomas. Talk to me. Thanks, T. Okay, you guys, we just found f prime of t. They want f prime of 2. So we're going to just go throw a 2 in there. People, could we just leave it as 48 plus 2 times 2 minus 1/4 times 2 squared? Sure could. Always. Always.